Hi and welcome to this Excel course specially designed for beginners. In this course, you will get to learn some most useful and basic things about Excel. Okay, so if you think that using Excel is only meant for bankers, people with career in finance, you are totally wrong. If I talk about myself, Excel is something I use every single day, almost. Well, let's move on. In this course, we are going to talk about the Excel interface, workbook structure, how to write formula, and how to format your Excel environment to make it work for you. Excel is a very useful tool no matter what line of career you are in. Whether you are working for a commercial company or you are a small business owner, you will come across using a spreadsheet at one point or another. One of the basic features of Excel is to click on buttons to do certain things in Excel. So, this is the first video of my Excel course. In this course, I'll discuss the Excel ribbon. As you can see, I have opened Excel on my computer and you can see all these cells and this ribbon. This is called a ribbon and these are called cells and rows and columns, but we will discuss those in my upcoming videos. And let me tell you one thing more. This whole thing is called a workbook or a spreadsheet. The ribbon is basically everything up here that I am highlighting with my mouse right now. It's all the menu bars, the buttons. The ribbon in Excel consists of tabs located along the top, providing access to various functions and features. It serves as a navigational tool to access a wide range of options within the application. So on the home tab, you have the font option to change the font style and the color to make it bold, large, small, highlighted and many other things. As we move on to the other parts of the ribbon, there are the Insert tab, Page Layout tab, Formula tab, Data tab and so on. These are all other advanced things you can do in Excel and I'll talk about these things in my future videos. Well, that's the first step in using the ribbon. Now let's talk about hiding the ribbon. In Excel, the ribbon can be a bit in the way when you want to see lots of cells. To hide the ribbon, you can see this tiny arrow sign here at the top of the sheet. Click here and click on the Hide Ribbon button and it will be hidden. Now you have more room to do things in Excel. And if you need something from the ribbon, you simply need to click here and the ribbon will be back. But it will be auto hidden after you start working on your sheet. So to move things back, you need to go to this tiny arrow again and click on this button that says Show Tabs and Comments. I usually don't hide the ribbon, so let's keep it like this. But it's really up to your personal preferences. Now let's talk about the Excel workbook structure. Like how a workbook in Excel is structured using worksheets and renaming worksheets and so on. Okay. So a workbook is a file in Excel that contains many worksheets. The file I have on my computer screen open is a workbook. This is a workbook. And as you can see, there are many different worksheets in the workbook like this. You can add as many sheets as you need to add in this workbook. But how to delete these sheets from your workbook? You just simply need to click on the sheet you want to delete and select delete and your sheet will be deleted. You should also name your sheets and this is important, especially when you are working on a large workbook that contains multiple sheets. You can't open up every single sheet to find certain things. For example, one sheet contains charts and the other one contains maybe graphs. So again, clearly mark what your sheets are called, not only for you but for people who may open your workbook. They can understand quickly what your worksheets mean. To name your sheet, click on this and go to this option. Or you can double click here and rename your sheet. Let's name this as Achieve More. Okay, now let's talk about entering some text into a worksheet or a cell. This is something you might have done in Excel or Google spreadsheets before. You can type anything into these cells. Just start typing and then press an arrow key to move out of the cell. Alternatively, you can press enter after typing like I am doing here. Press enter and there you go. You have entered information into the worksheet. A worksheet can have as many rows as you can see here. It goes all the way down to, I don't know, maybe a million. Yeah, whatever. So it's important to be mindful of how to work in sheets because when you get more advanced in Excel, you will be linking different worksheets together. Formatting is a really important aspect of using Excel because you want to quickly know what kind of data you are working with. And it helps to have good formatting principles and disciplines to figure out how to format things correctly in Excel. Alright, let's break it down in simpler terms. Imagine you have already typed some words in Excel. Now, if you want to change the color of a specific word, like let's turn this achieve more word into red. Click on font color, and if red is what you want, just click on it. Now, if you want to make the color green, you simply click here on green. That's it. The word is now in green color. The fill color is kind of the same thing as the background color. If you want to change the background color of these cells to maybe blue, look for the button next to the font color button. It has a paint bucket icon. Click on the little arrow next to it. Choose the color you want. Let's say you want blue fill. Find the blue color and click on it. Now these cells have a beautiful blue background color. Let's make this text in white color and fill it with this light blue color. Alright, so you might see sometimes when you are looking up things to do in Excel, if you do not do something, people will say things like, oh, use this font color or use this fill color, use this font color. That's basically what we are referring to. Font color is the actual color of the font, fill color is simply the background color. That was easy. You can also change the font style of your text. Here is the option to change the font style, and along with it, there is an option to make your font big or small. You can also make your font bold. Okay, so now let's try to add a comma in this number. The main way to do this is to go to the ribbon, and here you can see this comma button. And once you hit this comma, it will automatically add here. So that's how you add comma format into numbers. Now let's try to add decimals to these numbers. Here on the ribbon you can see the decimal. If you click on the left arrow, it will add up new decimal, and if you click on the right arrow, it will remove these decimals. Let's make this number to a percentage. So this is 0.7. We want to make it 70%. So how do we make it? Again on the ribbon, we have this percentage button which converts the number into a percentage, and there you go. So the number formatting is really important. Sometimes you have data that don't contain these formattings and it's hard to understand what the number actually means. With this formatting, your data looks really neat and tidy. Alright, so let's see how to align text in the center. So basically when we write text in these cells, it automatically sits on the left side of the cell. To align this text to the center, you see here on the ribbon, these are buttons to format your text. Click here and your text will be in the center of the cell. To align this text to the right, click on this button and it will be aligned to the right. Well, now let's see how to merge cell in Excel. If you want to merge multiple cells together, this comes in handy while writing headings and many other things in Excel. You see this merge and center button on the ribbon. All you have to do is select the cells you want to merge and click on this button and your text will be merged. Okay, let me tell you one thing. Being able to select cells in Excel seems like a no-brainer. But being able to do it effectively is important because you want to be able to move data around really fast and quickly. So the basic way to select data is this drag and drop, right? So if I select cell E5 here with my mouse, I can just hold my mouse down right and drag this entire range. Now let's say I wanted to select these cells and columns but still want to have the original selection. So that means if I select this and I'll also want to select this, if I let go of my mouse and select this, you will notice that the selected range goes away. So the way I do that is by using the control key. So the first step we want to do is to select these cells, drag and drop the mouse, and now using your keyboard, hit the control key and hold down the control key and don't let it go. And now select these other cells in columns K through M. You will notice that there's a light gray outline that shows that these two ranges have now been selected. So this is a quick way to select multiple ranges because sometimes the ranges won't be connected or you don't want to select everything between the two ranges. So this is how to use the control key to select multiple columns or cells in Excel. Okay, step 2 here is using this autofill feature, which involves selecting cells in Excel as well. So if we have the number 1, 2, 3 and 4 here, and I want this to be 5, 6 and 7, right? Now how do I do that without actually using the keyboard? I don't want to actually enter number 5, 6 and 7 manually. So if I select these numbers here 1, 2, 3 and 4, and if I hover over the bottom right of the selection, you will notice that this little plus sign comes up. And if I drag this down, you will see that the below cell are now auto-filled with numbers. Okay, now let's try to do that with text. We have A, B, C and D here. I'm selecting that. I'm going to go to the bottom right hand corner again. I'll see a plus sign. This is why I know I can autofill. I hold down the mouse and drag and drop. You will see that the alphabets are now autofilled. Okay, so this comes in very handy when you are entering a lot of data in Excel and you want to quickly fill in the rest of the data by using autofill. It's a really super helpful feature in Excel. Formula writing is somewhat of an art and science. It involves a lot of logical thinking, but at the same time, it also involves some creativity and how you build formulas and correctly write formulas to get the result that you want. So we are going to walk through a few basic formulas in Excel that you should know how to use in everyday kind of modeling and analyzing data. Alright, so let's jump in. For example, if I have the number 20, 30, 40, 50 and 60 and I want to sum these up, I can use a formula is equal to sum and select these cells and press enter and I got the calculation. So this is called a formula. Of course, there are some other ways to sum cells as well, but this was just an example to write formula in Excel. You can also go to the formula tab right here on the ribbon and select this auto sum option to sum your data. Now let's see the average formula. How to write the formula to find the average of numbers. To find the average of a group of numbers, you need to type in is equal to average and highlight the range of cells containing the numbers you want to average. For example, if you have these numbers, you would type is equal to average and select these cells and press enter. The average of these numbers should show up here. Now, VLOOKUP basically allows you to find a unique value in a list and then pull in something else from the table. So here we will see a list of some random names and their salaries. Imagine if this was 1,000 rows with various ID numbers, names and salaries. If I tell Excel I want to know which name is written on the ID number 80, I have to look around in the list to find that out. But believe me, you can't just find anything from a list that contains thousands of names or some other kind of data. So this is where VLOOKUP comes into play. So first of all, I'll start by writing VLOOKUP formula here, and the first thing should be the value you want to find. In this case, I want to look for the ID number 80, so I'll write is equal to VLOOKUP and then I'll select the ID number 80. And then the source of the data or table where our desired information is written. Then I have to select the column number. As you know, I want to find the number of the person. So the first name is written on the second column of the table. So I'll write 2 here. If the last name is what I'm looking for, I have to select 3 here. And finally, you always want to put the number 0 or the word false. And that means that you want the VLOOKUP to find the unique value and not something random here. You will notice that the VLOOKUP function returns the name Emma here, because we told Excel we wanted to find the name from this list. Alright, so we talked about various formulas here. This is probably the starting point for how you are going to learn to build formulas. Try to play around with the VLOOKUP formula a lot because that's going to be one of the most used formulas when you are building stuff in Excel. Most of the time you would be using Excel to sort through a list of data. You are getting a bunch of numbers or characters and data that you want to quickly filter and sort to find the results you want. So the first step here is, as we have our data set here, in this data set we have student names, subject names and marks. This is just a fictional data that I have written to play around with filter and sorting. And we want to quickly filter this list by subject names and marks. The first thing is we want to click on the first cell in the table, which is G5 on my dataset. I want to filter this list by subject name first. Now the way to access the filter function or operation in Excel is through the data tab in the ribbon. So click on data and here you can see a filter panel thing. Click on filter and you will know that you have applied your filter correctly when you have these drop down arrows show up in the fields menu. So let's filter by the subject. Let's do chemistry. Click on a drop down arrow here. You notice that it brings up this submenu. And I want to only have the data about chemistry. So I'm going to uncheck everything else and check only chemistry. There you go. So my dataset is now filtered. Now let's say I want to filter by subjects and marks. So let's get rid of our filter first. You can actually just go over the filter by clicking on the filter icon again. So let's filter by two filters now, by the subject names and marks. So the first thing we want to do is click on the filter menu again, and we want to filter on the subject, let's say math and physics this time. So I'm going to quickly select math and physics here, and there you go. I have filtered on those two subjects. Now I want to do by marks. So click on the drop down arrow on marks. You will notice it has four numbers. I only want marks that are, for example, 33, and there you go. Now I have filtered this list by both subject and marks. And now I can know that Emma didn't pay attention to my classes. That's why she got the lowest marks. Well, that's how you do a quick filter. There's various other options you can use with the filter menu. You can filter something by the value that it has. Maybe you want to filter by names that only begin with the letter. So definitely play around with the filter menu, but it's important to know that you can filter by multiple fields at once to get the result that you want in Excel. Now this link to the filter is the sort menu, which is right next door to the filter button. And if you see these button here next to the sort menu, you can quickly sort something by ascending or descending order. Let's sort this list of marks and let's sort it by ascending order. I want the marks that are the lowest. You can simply click here on the icon that display A to Z, and your list is now sorted in ascending order. I can obviously do a descending order as well. Now let's get into the advanced sort menu. So if you click on the sort button, you will notice that you can actually have a custom. You will see there's another submenu kind of similar to the filter menu, and here you can sort your data in an advanced way. I want to sort by subject, so I'm going to click on the sort menu. I want to sort by not subject but marks. Here is where we can see I want to sort by values. We want to sort this in smallest to largest form, and this is done. But don't hit OK yet. Hit this add level button here and hit enter, and there you go. Now we have sorted our list. Play around with the filter and sort menu. It's really important to do things like this because if you have a huge list of data with thousands of rows and all you want to do is find who was the top student with the highest marks or what was the highest marks in physics, let's say. This is a quick way you can sort and filter your data to find the result that you want. Now paste special allows you to basically paste some data that you have copied from somewhere else in Excel and paste it in a certain way that matches your preference. Whether it's the formatting, the values, the formula, and it's different from a regular copy and paste or cut and paste. But understanding how to use paste special will definitely help you learn how to use Excel for the most common purpose for data analysis. So the first step is let's do an old copy and paste with the data in column G. So in G3 I have number 5 and I also have filled the cell with the background color. Now let's copy this cell by pressing Ctrl C. Anytime you have copied something in Excel, you know that you have done it correctly when you have these little ants marching around the cell. So I copied this cell and pasted it into cell J3. You will notice that it copied number 5 and the green fill color or green background color. So when you do a regular old copy and paste, it pastes everything from the cell, not just the formula, but also the font color, the fill color or anything related to the cell. Now let's use the paste special menu to do some really cool things where we only paste the values for now. So here I have the number 4, 4 and 8. And 8 here is the sum of these two cells. It's a formula and not just a simple number. If I copy this 8 and paste it here by normally pressing Ctrl C and Ctrl V, you will notice it copies the formula as well. But I want to copy the number 8 only. I don't want the white font color, the formula, and I don't want the green fill color as well. I just want the number 8. So again, let's do a copy. I'm going to use Ctrl C and we have the little ants marching around the cell, which we know we have copied something correctly. Now I'm going to move my cell over to the cell Now go to the paste button on the ribbon and then paste special. You will notice this paste special menu has all this cool fun stuff that you can do to paste something. We want to do a paste of values only. So I am going to select the value ready button here and then hit OK. Let's take a look at what happened here. So we have the number 8, but there's no font color or no background color. More importantly, there's no formula either. So by double clicking, you will see that it's just number 8, no formula. It's just the value 8. So when you hear people say do a paste special values, this is what it means. We are just pasting the values, no formula, no font color, no formatting. So in the final step, let's do exactly opposite. So in cell J13, I have the number 10. You can see it's hard coded, it's not a formula, it's just number 10. Now I want this cell to have a white font color and the green fill color as in the cell above. So again, we are going to do a copy of this cell, nothing crazy here. And now I am going to move over to this cell where is 10 written and go to the paste special option. Here we will see that we have a paste format radio button. Let's select formats and hit OK. And there you go. And this 10 is now converted into this format. So that's where the paste special formats come into play. You will be doing paste special format a lot in addition to paste values because sometimes you have a dashboard or a report that you made and you have formatted correctly in one section and you want to apply that formatting to across to a whole another section of your worksheet that maybe has a similar table structure or whatever. You don't want to have to go through and click on the font color again, the fill color again and number formatting. If you just copy and paste special formats, you can quickly apply the formatting from something you have already done. So you don't have to redo all of your work. Alright, so that was it for today's video. Congratulations, you finished this Excel course and thank you for taking this course and sticking around. And my next course is going to be about keyboard shortcuts to make you faster in Excel. So make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification button because you can't miss my next course. If you found this course helpful, please make sure to share this with others as well. See you soon.